I'm Ethan Calhoun. You guys know me as Staff Sergeant Calhoun, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to put together a man pack. So, when you guys were younger, did you guys ever think about, like, when you guys were watching any Army movies, you're like, hey, I want to use a radio like that. The radio looks pretty cool. Well, today I'm going to teach you how to use a standard Army radio. So, what I got laid out in front of you are two SINGAR radios. SINGAR stands for Single Ground Airborne Radio System. And what we're about to do today, we're about to put together a man pack, which you can use for patrols or any like mission while you're in the Army. So, right here to my left, your right, this is what the man pack's gonna look when it's done. You got the antenna and the hand mic, all right? So we're gonna start out. Here's the three components you need. You need your antenna, you need your hand mic, you need your SINGAR radio. But the trick is we gotta make sure we got a hub battery there. So when the hub battery's here, that means we got power, or else we would need a power system to run the radio. But since we got the battery in here, we're good to just use it as a man pack, a standalone. All right. So I'm gonna turn this on real quick. As we wait for it to boot up, the three things I'm going to talk about is we're going to gather all our equipment, so we have all our equipment gathered. We're going to set it up properly, and we're going to make a proper radio call. So, as I'm setting it up, I'm going to make sure my antenna aligns. Alright, the antenna is good to go. Next, I'm going to attach the hand mic. It gets a little tricky sometimes. You gotta wet it, like lick it if you had to, or breathe in it, and then make sure it's attached. Okay. Alright, so while you're setting it up, we got to choose what power we're going to use. So now we don't have it hooked up to nothing like a amp or anything, so it's a standalone system. So for the power, we're going to click it to load, as you can see on the dial, and we're going to ensure that it's on high. The other options are power amp, as if you're going to hook it up in a vehicle, low, medium, but we're going to use high so it can reach further. All right. Next, we're going to ensure that it's on single channel. And that means that we can use it on an open network. So if it was frequency hop, we would have to use a certain code and make it a secure line. But single channel means it's an open line, and we can use it without extra equipment needed. So after that's done, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna go to plain text, because with how the radio's set up, if you use single channel, then you gotta use plain text, and that opens up the whole network for everybody. But if you were using frequency hop, you would need ciphertext. All right, so now we got single channel plain text. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in the frequency. So ensure it's on load again. I'm gonna click frequency. I'm gonna go menu clear, and we'll just go 52575. I'm gonna press store. Now it's ready to go. So we're gonna go back a little bit. So if we were using frequency hop, we would need to press the time button and ensure the time was set up with the right Julian date and right time that the higher headquarters have. But since we're using an open network and we don't need the SKO, which we would need for frequency hop, we're just gonna leave the time as is. You don't really need time when using single channel plain text. So now, I have my equipment here. It's set up as to what the example was set up like, Now the last thing I need to do is make a proper radio call. So to make a proper radio call, I would just hop on here and I'd be like, and for my platoon, since I'm a squad leader, I'm a Alpha 2-3, second platoon, third squad. So to make a proper radio call, I would just say, any station on the net, this is Alpha 2-3, radio check, over. And I would just wait for a response. So I went over how the example's supposed to look. I went over the proper equipment you need. You need the working proper equipment. I went over how to set it up, and I went over how to make a proper radio call. The last thing you're gonna do once this is set up, you're gonna have your assault pack. Place it in your assault pack with other mission essential equipment. And you're ready to go. This concludes my demonstration speech on how to put together a proper man pack in the United States Army.